Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we do have a very interesting and maybe here a very different pre-match video today, because in his press conference, Hansi Flick was absolutely fuming. Let me just say that here. He was really angry, primarily with La Liga, and hey, we can all get behind that, but particularly they're surrounding the scheduling right now. Lots and lots of fixtures here for Barca. We know what we had to go through, and we're going to be talking today all about those words from Hansi Flick. We're also going to be discussing the upcoming Champions League semi-final against Inter Milan, and also today, the potential lineup that could face Celta Vigo on Saturday, because in my opinion, we simply must see some rotation. It is all on the way here today, so let's do it. Because let's be honest, guys, and I think here to sort of set the scene to what we heard today from Hansi Flick, we all know that in midweek against Borussia Dortmund from Barca, it wasn't a good performance, and I think it was very clear that not only were we not at it maybe a little bit mentally, physically, we were really struggling. We saw a team out there that was honestly just tired. Simple as that. Dortmund got to a lot of balls first. They were certainly the team who were more proactive on the day. Barca were very tired, very fatigued, and it was clear for everyone to see. And I think Hansi Flick here in his press conference, we know that he's not a man that wants to make excuses, that he wants to complain unnecessarily, but I just think here today, he felt like he needed to, first of all, defend his players, to ultimately say, look, that performance against Dortmund, it wasn't good, but the players are human, after all. They will have off days. They will have days where they're not feeling at it. And at the end of the day, we are in the semi-final. But I also think Flick here today needed to send out some sort of message to the wider world and to La Liga about what we are seeing with the scheduling, and especially, let's think about it here. We are playing the early kickoff on Saturday. 4:15 there, local time. Why couldn't it have been in the night? Why did we have to be, of all the teams here, one of the ones that was early in the day? Those few hours there that we could have had here, few more hours of rest just to get ready, just to get prepared for this game, La Liga even took that away from us. So today, Flick said, do you know how many matches we have played in the last couple of weeks? And just like after Dortmund, we have the same situation coming up when we play against Inter in Milan. He said, we arrived back the other night at 3 or 4 a.m. The players went to bed there at 5 a.m. And we're talking here about 2 days before a game. It is absolutely ridiculous. Flick here was speaking so passionately, heart on his sleeve. He was genuinely so aggrieved by this situation. And he went on to say, look, I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to be somebody that complains. I've always said that. But he said, this situation right here, I have never experienced it before. He said every league, they try and protect their clubs. They try and help their clubs in European competition, especially there when you've got a team who've gone to the Champions League semi-finals, and yet we've got no time to rest. We are not given any luxury here. We are not given any help at all by La Liga. You want to promote your clubs. You want your clubs to succeed on the European level, and yet there's nothing from them. And in fact, it's almost as though they want to actively hinder one of their own clubs, as we've seen so often in the past. And actually, he said today, Hansi Flick, the guys who are responsible for this here, the scheduling, I want to speak with them. He wants to speak with them. He said because they have no idea. They have no idea how it is. But he said, okay, so we made a bad performance in Dortmund there. We didn't play well. But he said we are in the semi-final. That was our goal. That was our objective. And he said again, I am very proud of my team. I am very proud of my players. So for sure today, Flick certainly defending his team, certainly saying there, look, it wasn't ideal. We've spoken about that. He actually said earlier on today, we all spoke about what went wrong against Borussia Dortmund. But we are still incredibly proud of this team. And we as a fan base, we are all behind the team. We all still have a huge belief, huge confidence in our players. But make no mistake here, guys, we are tiring as a team. We are seeing some fatigue. And that is why, in my opinion, as we're going to talk about, we will need to rotate. But before we do get on to all of that, guys, what I would actually like to do here is talk about that upcoming semi-final. Because, of course, now Barca, they know their opponent. And it is going to be a meeting here against Inter. And I've got to say, and I said before, actually, the second legs here, in my opinion, I would have rather faced Bayern. I genuinely would have here. You know, we've already faced them this season. We already know what kind of test that they would provide us with. We know the way they want to play. And I think Bayern's style suited us more. You know, we could get at them. There would be more spaces there. I think Inter, it's a very different kind of challenge. And if anything here, I look at the game against Inter very similarly to how we played against Atletico Madrid. You know, this season, of all the teams, Atleti, they've caused us some problems. We have found them a tough nut to crack. You know, at times we haven't been able to break them down in the way that we'd like. And I would say Inter, they're an upgraded version of Atletico Madrid. And even more so than that, I don't want to do them here a disservice. They play some excellent football. They are so organised in the way they go about their work. And they are a team who deserve to be in the Final Four. They have been brilliant, not only this season, but over several seasons now. Inter as a team have been growing. They've got fantastic leadership as well. Inzaghi is a top coach. And I think it's going to be a great tie. I think this is something here that's a proper European fixture. You know, this is a semi-final the way that it should be. You know, two top teams, two different styles, two very different styles, but that's what makes it exciting here. And I think if we're going to beat Inter, if we are going to make it to the Champions League final, we will have to be at our best. We will have to arrive into these games here with the capabilities to show our best level. And that means running, that means pressing there, that means winning the ball back, that means being very tight to our opponent there. We will need to bring our absolute A game to get through, because Inter are tough. Inter are a really tricky test here for Barca. And I want to know how you feel about those upcoming games. You know, are you confident going into those games against Inter? What do you think we need to look out for? You know, Lautaro Martinez, he is on fire right now. Fantastic goals that he scored against Bayern. But of course, guys, I cannot wait for these games. We are in the semi-final, and boy, are we going to enjoy it. However, guys, if we do just circle back here to the job in hand against Celta Vigo on Saturday, but in my opinion, we do have to have one eye on those Champions League games. They're not all that far away, and it's important for us here to just get the squad rested in any way that we can. We have the Copa del Rey final next weekend against Real Madrid, and I think in this game, although it may be risky in terms of the league, I know there that we don't have a massive margin to play with, but we got to rest some players. And I would personally go here with Szczesny in goal. Apparently the faith is going to be kept very much in him. Ter Stegen will not be making his way back into this team. Flick wants to stick with Szczesny no matter what. And then along the back line, like I say, it might be risky, but we have to make a few changes. In my opinion, Koundé has to get some rest. We have to see here Hector Fort. You know, we've barely seen him this season. Let's give him an opportunity here against Celta Vigo. Eric Garcia has been very good when called upon this season. I would play him there alongside Inigo Martinez, who got some rest against Dortmund. And then, of course, again, we are relying on Gerard Martin at left back. Let's give him some more confidence. Let's really try and help him here heading into these massive games to come. And then in midfield, I think you keep Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie was an excellent player there at Dortmund, one of the few players that played well. Pedri, of course, had a little bit of rest in that game, so I think that he can play here. But then in attack, we have to rest Yamal. I mean, at some point, guys, you have to rest this kid. You know, he's a kid at the end of the day. He's played so many games. You've got to rest him at some point. So I would just shift things around here in the attacking third. I bring Rafinha over to the right-hand side. He needs rest as well, by the way. He is somebody, again, that's looking a little bit jaded right now. I would bring back in Dani Olmo. Let's see him here from the start. We've got to get him back in this team, reintegrated again, up to speed, and he could be a massive player in the latter stages of this season. And then over to the left-hand side, let's go with Gavi there. I still believe there's enough quality in there, enough attacking intent to really take the game to Celta Vigo. And then up front, I mean, it's up to Flick, you know, what he wants to do. He could play Lewandowski, or he could play Ferran Torres. Either of those two, I don't mind, but I think we have to rest Yamal, and I think we have to rest Koundé. Those are two players that have played an extraordinary amount of minutes this season. We've got to try and protect the players here. We've got to try and bring some life back into the team again, and this, in my opinion, is how I would do it. But of course, guys, what I would really like to know from all of you is how you would line up. You know, what would you do in this game here against Celta? We know that in the league, we've got a 4-point gap. You know, that's not absolutely massive, but it's enough. You know, it allows there a little bit of a cushion in the league. So what would you do just to revitalise the squad here? We saw against Dortmund a really tired team, a really jaded, fatigued team. So how would you freshen things up here on Saturday in La Liga against Celta Celta Vigo. Please do let me know all of your thoughts down below and let me know your reactions to Hansi Flick's really, really strong words today. Fantastic that he said that, by the way. Really great to see him speaking openly about what we are seeing right now and in football as a whole. But let me know, guys, all of those thoughts down below. I will see you tomorrow after the game for all of the reaction. I hope that you enjoy it. But until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.